Hi, this is just my quick screen record to show you how I edit my images in Snapseed for Instagram. Pretty much do these steps each time. I'm just rotating it presently. I like to take my photos on an angle, so I use the little slider at the top to keep the angle of the images because it does try to straighten it all automatically. The first things I usually do is go into the tools and I'll use the white balance to alter it. This image is really blue, as you can see. I took it in shadow, so I'm using the temperature to increase the white balance to add more yellow back in. You can go the other way if you take it at night, for example, and your images have that yellow cast. So using curves, so this image is quite dramatically dark. I like to use curves. Word of warning, just use it really carefully. You're trying to get some sort of dot, and if you just click on the line into the middle area, and you can increase it up to increase the brightness. If you tap on the screen, that will actually show you the before to the current state. But yeah, use it sparingly because you can really blow out your contrast using this. I just usually add that middle point, that middle dot, and move it towards the center to try and even out the tones if it's an overly dark image, and you can get it really boosted up to a really nice white. So after I've done curves, I'll usually then use the tuning tools and I'll boost up the brightness right up. And then I'll go to my highlights and boost that up as well. Highlights. And so yeah, I like to make a really light white images with very limited shadow, and then I kind of boost the contrast just in case it's starting to look really flat. And the other thing that I like to do a lot with my images is use the brushes. So there's the brush controls, which you can alter things like your exposure and temperature and saturation. I mainly use exposure and saturation. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm using my finger with the exposure on +7, and I'm making it lighter. So you can see on the right hand side, I'm just sort of brushing my finger down, or where my finger would be down on the screen, to lighten that page even more, so to really bring up the white. And then if I do it too much, you can go back down to +0.3 to bring back some of that overexposure. So you can just balance your images this way. And I also like to lighten up the edge of my page because I usually take photos on the floor. And so if it's dark, I like to just lighten that area up as well. So you can really use that tool sparingly, or you can go, overboard with it. If you do, I like to just keep going backwards and forwards with the arrows just going up and down with the exposure if I go too much or go too little. Yeah, and then once I've used the brushes, I generally, if I get the image I like, I just hit export. I tend to save all of my images over. I don't save copies. I just don't want to have too many. So I just hit save and then modify, and it saves over the original. That's it.